Today on Cooking for Real, I'm making breakfast calzones. That's right, our chickens are really coming into the eggs, so I think I would get ready for a nice egg series here. And before we get started on this recipe, if you could go ahead and hit subscribe, that would really help me out. We're going to gather some ingredients here. I'm putting aside some fillings. What I did here is I actually scrambled 15 eggs, but I scrambled them loosely because they are going to get cooked again and then again. And I have store-bought pizza dough. You can by all means make your own. I cut each of those into sections of 12, rolled them out just a little bit, but we'll be pulling them out into the proper sizes as we go. So first up, we're going to make 8 of these ham, broccoli, and cheese mini breakfast calzones. I have taken these eggs and divided them up so that I will have equal portions. There is 1 portion of egg right there for this particular calzone. And on top of that, I'm adding in that ham that I sliced up and a little bit of that broccoli. And about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of shredded cheese. In this particular one, I am using a blend called mac and cheese blend. And now this is where it becomes the calzone. You're actually going to put a little water along the edges of the seam where you want it to close. Put a little water there. And then you're actually going to just pull this into shape. And we don't want it to burst in the oven, and we also want to be able to tell them apart later. So I'm actually going to cut the dough a little bit, but in the shape of an H, so that I know that these are ham. So onto that pepperoni, we're just going to do that portion of egg again. Spread that out nice. I took the pepperoni and cut it into much smaller pieces, as you can see here. Because I think it's difficult to eat one of these things in hand if you have to fight with whole pieces of pepperoni. So we'll just do that, and then again with about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of cheese. And water around the edge. And pull it into the shape of a calzone. Roll it and seal it. And then we'll do this 7 more times. Okay, so this is the pepperoni ones ready to go into the oven. Poorly marked with a letter P so that I know later that these are the pepperonis. And now we are about to move on to the bacon and egg. Okay, so just like all of the others, we have this portioned out bit of egg right here. And I have a half piece of bacon. I'm going to crumble it up, pop it right on top. And we've moved on to a different kind of cheese. This is a cheddar and Monterey Jack mix. Again, about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. And then we're just going to wet these edges and make a little mini calzone here. Just press with your thumbs to push the fillings inside, and then using your fingertips all the way around, crimp, 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 roll it up, and into the cornmeal, off we go. This is the last batch here. I did not mark it with a B because it was actually very difficult with a knife. So what I did was I put 3 little slashes on it for, I guess, 3rd batch. It is coated with the olive oil and actually a very light dusting of the bacon grease. And it is sitting on the cornmeal. I'm about to pull the 2nd batch out of the oven and replace it with these. So those are going to be in the oven for about 10 minutes, and then I'll rotate them Let me show you these here. They actually puffed up while baking, so they're much bigger now than when they went in. We're going to let these cool, and then we're going to package them up for future use. Thank you for joining me on Cooking for Real today, where we've started a series on eggs, because as you can see, I just came back in from checking on the chickens, and yeah, there was more eggs out there. But now we have Hot Pockets. Freezer sandwiches go for about $3 for a package of 2. And for just that price alone, they bought the ham that went in about 8 of these. I made 24 of these today, all with farm fresh eggs and meats that I cooked myself, except for the pepperoni, to be fair. And I know exactly what went in it, and I can feel good about what my family is taking for a quick on-the-go breakfast or snack or even a lunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these in the freezer, and they can take whatever they like. I have ham and broccoli, pepperoni, and bacon, all with farm fresh eggs in it. Wrap them in a paper towel and cook them in the microwave for about 2 minutes, and you're good to go. So thank you for joining me on Cooking for Real today. If you have some suggestions on how I can work with all of these eggs, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time, because I'm not only cooking for real, I'm cooking for you.